This is the US 30 analysis for Friday the 13th of October. The US 30, also known as the Dow Jones Industrial Average. Now, let's just have a look what's actually happened on the 12th. So, on the 12th, we had a bit of a pullback all the way down to the 50-period moving average. The buyers came back into the market, pushed prices all the way up to 22,880, and then we had a bit of a sell-off just below where we were. So we actually breached the low of the first initial move down to the 50-period moving average. We've had a bit of a consolidation. We've had a push back up to 22,860, and we seem to be holding the 20 and 50-period moving average to the upside. So, where do I expect prices to go? Well, at present, the market, everything is pointing to bullish momentum to the upside. So again, we will be targeting a move upwards. I'm expecting prices to go all the way up to. It does appear that this is slowly heading up to 23,000. Now we do have the earnings of a lot of the, well, pretty much earnings for a lot of stocks coming out this quarter, and depending on how the earnings are, we could see a bit of a sell-off if there is some weak earnings, which might provide an opportunity to get out of the market, or those traders which are short biased, an opportunity to start to sell the market. If selling does come into the market and we do get a few of the larger stocks on the US 30 come out with poor earnings, we'll be looking possibly at prices retracing all the way back down to 22,769, or this weekly pivot at 20,742. To the upside, again, we'll be looking at round numbers as we're in uncharted territory at 22,900 and eventually 23,000. So let's just have a look at the higher time frames and see if there's anything of note. So if we go out to the monthly time frame, if the charts will eventually load, and let's get the scaling correct. So on the monthly time frame, we can clearly see we're in an uptrend. Well, for a very long time now, since 2009. We've had a few pullbacks on the monthly time frame. We let's just see when that was. In 2015, we had a pretty sizable pullback, and in and around 2011. But since the election of, not since the election, but since March of 2016, we've pretty much headed upwards with not much of a pullback. Prices have just trended upwards, especially on this higher time frame, the monthly chart. Now, let's just have a look at the weekly chart. It's going to be a similar story. Again, as we are trending to all-time highs, and again, we've had prices respecting the 50-period moving average, not really trading below, which last time we were below the 50-period moving average was all the way back in early 2016. Prices have trended upwards, and since the election of President Trump, prices have respected an even quicker moving average, the 20 period, and has not pulled back beneath it. and in fact we are pulling away from it. Well, the thing about prices in markets is oftentimes when prices start to pull away from moving average, sometimes we get mean reversion whereby which they pull back towards the moving average. But stock markets are long biased, so pullbacks can be limited, and and the overall trend of the markets is tends to be long, especially if you look at the market over time. So if we go down to the daily time frame, just see if there's anything of note. And again, the overall trend is to the upside. We did have a little bit of bull flag form here in September, and we had more volume coming in, more buyers, especially after this period of consolidation here with the smaller candles before the bulls re-entered the market. We most noteworthy was on the 2nd of October. Now prices have come up to near the 20,900 level. Over the past 2 days, we did have some smaller candles, so a pullback. It does appear that buyers are waiting to see how prices, how earnings affect prices of the US. And one thing of note here on the daily chart in particular is in comparison to over here, if you look at the ATR, we are trending downwards in the ATR. So the trend downwards in the ATR, if you also look at volume, we do seem to be heading downwards in volume. So it might be a case of buyers becoming exhausted here, and might provide an opportunity for short sellers to come into the market if the buyers are in fact exhausted to get a few short sells into the start to short sell the market as it starts to pull back. Now when we do have volatility weaken, sometimes there is a volatility spike whereby which volatility rises again, either in an upside, either to the upside or to the downside. So let's have a look at there was a time. So if we have a look over here, we did have volatility coming down as the market trended upwards, and volatility. Yes, we did have volatility come down as the market trended upwards, but over here we did have some major selling and volatility spikes, as can be indicated by this these big candles. Get my ATR back in the shot. Okay, by these big bearish candles. So we could see a bit of a consolidation, a small pullback down just 100 points or even more, but a pullback down to 20,742 is likely. Although we do continue to get strong earnings, we will see the 23,000 mark met at some point in the medium term, likely before the end of the year. So that should pretty much conclude my analysis for US 30. Overall, I'm long biased. I'll be targeting 20,900 and eventually 23,000. Before I go, LCS, like, comment, subscribe. Thanks for watching.